Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Mrs. Story here. Today I want to talk to you about how to cite a book. So, one of your sources is required to be a book that we have found in our library or a public library. Some of you found an ebook, and there's already a video on how to cite that. I'm actually going to talk now about a book that you hold in your hand that you have to find the information for. If you look on the screen here, I am in our research manual and in Appendix B. This is all about how to cite information. Page 35 starts with books, and that's where you're going to need to go to. So if you see here on page 35, we start with different type of books, and if we scroll down, the pages continue to go by different editors, an anthology or collection, and this is what many of you that have those books with little essays will use. And then it begins to go into web sources and that type of thing. But I want you to look at page 35 and 36 and focus on those. So if you have a book in your hand, I want you to hold that book up, because if you have a book, you are going to see on the front of the book information. If you have an author in your book, you are typically going to see the author's name on the front of the book and abbreviated there in the spine. Pause this video now and look at the front of your book for an author's name. Okay, if you have found an author's name, then you have one author. You are going to go into the manual and you're going to use a book with one author. If you have a book with two or more authors, and here is if there are more than three authors, and this is how you would do it if there are more than three editors and that type of thing. You see here, you have an example. Now you're going to need quite a bit of information from the book. Primarily, you're going to need the author and the title, the city of publication, who published it, the year, and you're going to put the word print because this is something that you're actually holding in your hand. So if you look at my sample here from several years back, these are some pictures of where you're going to find this information. So we have the author's name. So we're going to put that information just as it is in the manual. The title, which is going to be just as it is in the manual. And you're going to remember when you're writing this on your card that you need to underline it. Remember, it's in italics in MLA format, and you cannot write in italics. So you underline it on your card. You'll put it in italics on your works cited page. Then you're going to need the city of publication, and you generally find that information in the front couple of pages. So if you look right here, you see that there are several cities of publication. Use the first one. You don't need to put a state, just put the city. So in this case, I can't see it, but I would use this city right here. Then, of course, you need to make sure that you put who published it. Right here is the publishing information. You can also find it on this page, but it's right here. So I'm just going to use this one. And you can abbreviate the name of a publisher. So if you wanted to make this just Greenwood, you could do that. You can go ahead and put Greenwood Press. That's up to you. And then you're going to look for the year. And of course, this is so tiny I can't see it, but it's going to be right here. Okay. And always use the one that is the most current. Many times you'll have a book that has been printed previous times, and it'll have that also, like for original printing or first printing, but use the most recent date for that, and then you will put the word print. So Your front of your book and the first couple of pages are where you're going to find information to source or create your citation. And the only thing you might have trouble with is figuring out the multiple authors, if it's a book with no author, if it's a book with an editor, a part of a book, that type of thing. But this is where you can look at look through the manual and see if there's any information that you need to look at as far as that goes. So if you have any questions, you know where to reach me.